Because last week I spoke a little bit about the two stages of meditation, the stages of stillness, bringing everything into the stillness, and then self-inquiry. And I wanted to begin this evening's meeting by speaking about that as well in a slightly different way. And I want to call that other way, I want to call that going to the next level, going on to the next level. And what does it mean to go on to the next level? Because a lot of the time what I hear, especially in a lot of the other circles that I'm in, is this this beautiful invitation to just be with everything. You know, we hear this a lot now. Just be with everything. Just allow everything. Just be with everything. And that is a very necessary stage. It's a very beautiful stage, and it's one that we may go backwards and forwards to and from a lot. And to just be with everything means to just allow everything to arise without trying to control it, without trying to change it, without trying to get it into any particular shape. It just means just to allow everything to arise and to just be fully present with that, fully present with whatever is arising. And this has the potential to begin to bring everything into a kind of field of natural stillness. It may also reveal some deep core wounds in us. And it may also reveal stuff around the inner child and all these things. So it's very important that we learn to really be with everything in that way, to be present with everything. But there must also come a point where we go on to the next level. And the next level really means to look into who is the one who is being with everything. In whose presence are all of these things coming and going? What is it that is aware of and is conscious of all of these different movements? And it's almost like that part is mostly overlooked. In fact, I have only really discovered that part in satsang. I've never heard anyone else speak about that. Because everybody else assumes that they know what that is. You know, well, that's me. I am the one being with everything. I am the one who is conscious. I am the one who is aware. But here, I'm inviting you to look more deeply into this sense of I, so that you're not just assuming that you know what that is. You're not just sort of brushing over that. Because unless and until we really look into the nature of this I, we will not be liberated. We will not be free. Because if we are basing our sense of self on the kind of egoic self that can be with everything, then there will always be more to look at, more to do. It is an unstable reality. So here I'm inviting you, look into this sense of I. Really look into this sense of I. What is this sense of I? What is it that is saying, yeah, I can just be with everything? And as you look into this one, see if it has any form, if it has any shape, if it has any quality, if it has anything about it which is phenomenal, meaning you can see it, or you can know it. If it is anything phenomenal, if it has any thingness about it, then you must know that that is not the true self. You must know that there is something else deeper than that, which sees the false self. It is aware of the false self, the one pretending to be you, the one pretending to be with everything. And in that recognition, something else is revealed. Something else becomes known. Something else which has always been here, but it has always been overlooked. And here you're being guided back to, or encouraged to, look into that. Because these meetings really are about spiritual awakening. They, at the core, they are about spiritual awakening. And spiritual awakening means to wake up to what we truly are. It doesn't mean we have to fight with the ego. It doesn't mean we have to kind of, right, I'm going to destroy the ego. Or, I'm going to kill the ego, all these things I hear people say. Not that. Just see that it doesn't have the reality that it appears to have. And you see that by being in your true position. My own master, he says something very beautiful about this. He says, there is nothing you need to do in order to become yourself. But there is something you need to recognize in order to stop being what you are not. Again, there is nothing you need to do in order to be yourself. But there is something you need to recognize in order to stop being what you are not. Very profound, very simple, but very profound. We are already the self. We are already that. But because of habit and conditioning and identity, we have got caught in a different position in ourselves. Awakening is to recognize that that position that we have got caught inside is phenomenal. It is observable. It is witnessable. And spiritual awakening is to awaken to the deeper self, or the ever-present self, or the self which is not separate. The egoic self always feels separate. And if we identify with that, then no matter what we do, no matter how hard we work, no matter how spiritual we become, we will still feel separate. It is unavoidable. So this is about a shift in the ground of your identity. And this is where self-inquiry is so powerful. It is said that of all of the yogas, the jnana yoga, the yoga of wisdom, yoga of self-inquiry, it is the most powerful. It is the most direct, because it asks you right at the very beginning, who are you? Who are you? And in these meetings, this is the core of what we're looking at. The core of the invitation is to look at the very root. And if that root has substance, then you must find out what knows that substance. Many years ago, I was on a retreat, actually, and it came to me, this analogy of a tree. And the tree, I'm not a tree scientist, but basically a tree has three parts, doesn't it? It has the branches and the leaves, which is one part. It has the trunk, and it has the roots. And I felt like this was a good analogy of ourself. We may say that the egoic self, the false self, is like the leaves and the branches. It is kind of unstable. It can be moved around easily. The trunk is like presence. It is like the sense I am. It is like the being. It is stable. It is strong. It is rooted. But finally, there is that which cannot be seen. The roots, they are mostly underground. They cannot be seen. But the roots are like the self. And without the roots, none of the other things can be there. Without the self, presence cannot be there. And without presence, the personal I cannot be there. All of it is consciousness. All of it is the tree. But the question is, which part of the tree are you at? Which part of yourself do you know yourself as? An awakening is to know yourself as the deeper part of the tree, not just the branches, not just the leaves, but to know yourself as the core, as the root. And when you know yourself as the root, then on the surface, still the leaves will get blown around. The branches will break sometimes. But what you are at the core will not break. And this is what is being invited for you to discover. Not as theory, not as concept, not as spiritual belief or spiritual idea, but as your own experience. Belief won't be enough. Idea won't be enough. You have to know this at the very heart of yourself. You have to know this beyond any doubt. You must be confirmed in this over and over and over again, until at a certain point it will become natural for you. You will see that you cannot be other than that. But because our identity is caught in the branches, we need something to pull us down into the root. And that something is self-inquiry. That something is looking into the depth of ourself. And really that is what satsang is for. That we look together, we explore together, we inquire together. And then you come back and you tell me, you tell me, Paul, yeah, or no, or whatever. But you bring your reports back so that we can clear out any doubts together. So that you can come to know your true nature.